Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Ultra League, showcasing some more fun battles featuring Lugia! I've often been curious as to how Lugia would perform in the Open Ultra League, guys. You don't often see Lugia on many teams, so we're trying it out today in the Open Ultra League on the lead. Lugia is quite bulky. Of course, we are all familiar with Lugia from the Master League, but guys, it actually retains quite a bit of its bulk, even at this 2500 CP limit in the Ultra League, and it is a pretty solid lead, but you want to have some solid coverage, general coverage on the meta, and there's nothing that epitomizes that better than Galarian Stunfisk. Of course, G-Fisk is one of the more reliable safe swaps in the Ultra League, and that's just because of its extreme bulk and its ability to hang in there and really pressure shields or flip switch advantage for you. And also on this team, we've got good old Scrafty in the back. Scrafty is here to not only close the game strong, but to also provide some nice coverage on the ghost types, as Lugia wants nothing to do with the strong ghost and dark types in this meta. And there is no better answer to the strong ghost and dark types than Scrafty. So without further ado, before we hop into the featured set of the video, we're starting things off with some bonus battles that I thought were tons of fun. And here we go, picking up a very solid lead in Machamp. And they are not swapping out. So that is very telling, guys. That means something in the back does not want to see Lugia. As we call the bait, that's double resisted. And gonna look to go for a Sky Attack. Because they're staying in, I would imagine this grabs a shield. They must be extremely weak to a Lugia in the back. This is very interesting. So, because they're staying in and fighting a good fight here with their Machamp, we're gonna shield this, but they bait us again with another double resisted cross chop. That is unfortunate. But I'm thinking they're extremely weak. There's no other reason to stay in on such an awful lead if you're the Machamp. And we don't want to go completely down on shield. So even if this is a rock slide, as you can see, guys, Lugia still tanks that, no problem. Still retains quite a bit of its bulk, even in the Ultra League. And we know that this is just another double resisted cross chop, not shielding that, as we're going to look to farm down the four-armed monster. Now we'll see what they were hiding from our Lugia. A Giratina, so not particularly weak to Lugia. But because we got all that farm, we are going for the hard-hitting Arrow Blast, and that does a lot of damage to a very bulky Pokemon, guys. The Machamp is out of the way, so our Stunfisk can roam free, and they meet us with a Swampert. This is why you still want to swap out, guys. Draw out that Swampert, and shields are down, and we went for that Earthquake. Does a lot of damage to the Swampert, and we do not intend on shielding anything from this Swampert. As you can see, Stunfisk tanks a Hydro Cannon pretty comfortably, and they will absolutely need two to take us out, and that is quite all right. We will let Stunfisk go down, and it is Scrafty time, guys. The play now is to farm the Swampert all the way down, and although we can tank one of whatever the Swampert throws, we do still have a shield, so we might as well use it and look to go for the full farm down, guys. All we need is a loaded Foul Play to send the Giratina packing, and we do have that Foul Play. And this is going to absolutely seal the deal as we say bye-bye to the Giratina. Scrafty closing the game strong. That's going to be a good game. Well played to our opponent. Lugia proved to be quite effective in the Open Ultra League, I must say, guys. Very underrated, I would say, as we're picking up a pretty terrible lead in Umbreon, so this is why we've got Stunfisk as a nice generalist on the safe swap, and we draw out a Venusaur, so this is what Stunfisk is here for. You want to draw out those fighters or something like a poison type like Venusaur so that Lugia can come back in and take it out. And they do let the Earthquake go through. That is amazing. So we're thinking that if we can build up to back-to-back rock slides, we can definitely tank a Frenzy Plant. If we can get to back-to-back, it will either pressure them to go completely down on shields, or we will be able to flip switch with our Stunfisk. either one is fine. So we're going to build up to the back-to-back. We will outpace two rock slides here. Going to go for the first one and see what the Venusaur wants to do. And they let it go. There you go. That is why Stunfisk, one of the better safe swap options. It can either grab you a shield advantage or flip switch as they meet us with a Talonflame. So we have loaded energy going to go for Rock Slide number 1. It does not KO, but it does loads of double super effective damage. We grab the shield there, and we're going for Rock Slide number 2. They can definitely let this go through, but they choose to go down on shields, looking to go for the aggressive farm down. Not a bad move, as Talonflame is absolutely lethal with loaded energy. But Lugia, guys, is pretty bulky, so we are fine even if this is a Brave Bird. We tank that, no problem, and they swap out into the Umbreon, and it is Scrafty time, guys. We are still up a shield with our Scrafty, and we are going to look to get this power-up punch train rolling. Of course, that is all we can really do against opposing dark types, of course, and they're going to go for a move. We don't shield anything from this Umbreon. It is a double resisted foul play. So, guys, this is the case to be made against running Community Day Umbreon, guys. When you're up against opposing dark types like this, it is quite demoralizing, I must say. Especially if it's a Scrafty, which hard walls Community Day Umbreon like you wouldn't believe. So, gonna just look to load up on energy. We are thoroughly boosted at this point. So the play here is to leave this matchup with as close to a foul play as possible. And the Talonflame does have energy. So we're not gonna let this go to waste, guys. We're gonna shield up the Flame Charge and look to go for the boosted foul play. Gonna be doing loads of damage to the Flaming Bird of Terror, and we're gonna aggressively go back into our Lugia. We knew that we had some residual energy, and we're gonna look to take out the Talonflame with a Sky Attack. And this is looking like GG's, guys, as that Umbreon is quite low. And yeah, they saw the writing on the wall. It was just about over as they concede the match. That's gonna be yet another good game. Well played to our opponent. Had to start it off with some fun bonus battles as we move into the featured set of the video. We are met with a Swampert. So Lugia can actually do quite well against Swampert because we are, of course, double resisting this fast move pressure, and we are quite bulky. So we can tank a few of these Hydro Cannons as they look to catch a move onto their Grand Ball, and this is why we've got Stunfisk, guys. Because Lugia with Dragon Tail can do okay against the Charmers, but of course the Charmers are double resisting that Dragon Tail fast move pressure as the Grand Bull lets the Earthquake through. That is amazing. So we are going to shield up the potential close combat, but they bait us with a Crunch, likely fishing for a debuff, and that is okay. We're just going to go for the full Mudshot farm down on the Grand Bull. It's very nice to have that out of the way, as Scrafty wants nothing to do with any Charmer in this meta. So they do come back in with the Swampert, and we're going for the Earthquake, and we grab a shield. That is amazing. Seems like they should have been able to get their move off. I don't know if they overtapped there, but that is okay. They do take us out with a Hydro Cannon and gonna come in with Scrafty here. And they meet us with an Alolan Muck running Snarl. So this is fine, guys. This is actually really good for us. We do want this alignment here. And I don't know why they swapped into Alolan Muck here. That is quite curious. As you definitely want the Dark type on the Lugia. But they do go for a Sludge Wave here. We tank that, no problem. And we are going to look to continue to get this power-up punch train rolling with yet another power-up punch. And that is all we can do. These boosted counters are really starting to add up. And we're going for power-up punch number 3 on the Alolan Muck here. And they do shield. That is amazing. We now have a shield advantage with our Scrafty and waiting on the catch and snipe. And we anticipated that. Not gonna have that, guys. We're just gonna soak all this damage on our Lugia as our win condition lies with our Scrafty at this point. So I'm not gonna shield any of these Hydro Cannons from the Swampert, guys. And we do have that Aero Blast locked and loaded because we held on to our energy and we are saying bye-bye to the Swampert. That does a lot of damage, holy smokes. And the Alolan does elect to throw some energy here, and that is quite all right. It is hanging on by a thread. All we need is one counter to take it out as we say bye-bye to the Alolan. Scrafty closing the game strong yet again. That's going to be a good game. Well played to our opponent. So as you guys can see, Lugia is quite formidable in the Open Ultra League. I'm telling you, as we are picking up a not-so-good lead in Scizor, not Shadow, but that is okay. We go into Stunfisk, and they meet us with a Dragonite. What in the world? Dragonite is not an answer to Galarian Stunfisk. It's actually gets hard-walled by G-Fisk. Nothing that this Dragonite can throw can pose any sort of threat to our G-Fisk, but we are fine with this nonetheless, as Scrafty doesn't necessarily want to see it either. So we're fine staying right here. I'm going to play this out. They must be extremely weak to a Steel type in the back on this team, and we do comfortably tank that Hurricane from the Dragonite as we look to go for yet another Rock Slide. And we do say bye-bye to the Dragonite. And we now have a shield advantage, and we have Flip Switch. And now we see that they were extremely weak to a Steel type. Holy smokes, guys. They got a Charmer in the back, and they do shield up the Earthquake. And that is quite all right, guys. We've got a 2-shield advantage. We can now align our Lugia onto the Sylveon here, but not before chipping away with a Rock Slide. They will Charm down. The goal here is to get this Charmer within Aeroblast range. Of course, when shields are down, you gotta go for that Aeroblast, guys. And we do shield up the Psyshock. That was quite painful, and we were expecting a combo play. So we look to catch that double resisted damage on our Scrafty, making the plays. You love to see it. And Scrafty's going to do very well up against this Scizor, as it is quite squishy and does not perform well when shields are down. Going to go for the foul play and look to counter down. And they are building up to the Iron Head, and that is quite all right, guys, as our win condition lies with Lugia up a shield. And we are just going to chip with a Power Punch. Any chip damage helps because we want to get this Charmer within Aeroblast range, and I would say it is in Aeroblast range. So all we need to do is shield up whatever move they get to, most likely just another resisted Psyshock. Quite painful shielding up Psyshocks with our Lugia, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to get to this Aeroblast. That is what we want to do. We want to Aeroblast the Charmer, guys, because why not, guys? As we say bye-bye to the Sylveon, Lugia just Aeroblasting everything off the screen. You'd love to see it as it closes the game strong. That's going to be a good game. Well played to our opponent. I did not regret running Lugia in the Ultra League. It is so underrated, has so much good coverage on the meta, and speaking of, we had a Scrafty on the lead. They make a play into a Unova Stunfisk. Holy smokes. You don't often see this as an XL in the Ultra League, but that is quite all right. We come in with Scrafty because this is the proper alignment. Of course, Lugia or our own Stunfisk doesn't necessarily want to see the Unova Stunfisk, so we're just going to look to play this out with our Scrafty. We do go for the foul play, and Unova Stunfisk doesn't hit particularly hard, guys. As you can see, that discharge does laughable damage to our Scrafty. Its redeeming quality is definitely its bulk and its spamminess, so gonna go for foul play number 2, and we do grab a shield from the Unova Stunfisk. We will return that shield in kind because we kind of want to get rid of this thing, guys. We want to have our Lugia aligned to that Scrafty. So gonna go for a Power Punch at this point because we're thinking we can Power Punch counter down this Unova Stunfisk, and they go for another shield. They are really fighting hard for Switch, and I don't blame them. And we're not going to let that happen. We are going to shield up the discharge. Shields are now down on both sides, and we're going to look to get rid of it with a Power Punch, but they catch it on a Skarmory. Holy smokes. Shouts to them for the unique XLs that they're bringing to the Ultra League. Very interesting. But that is quite all right. We've got just the answer to the Skarmory in the form of Galarian Stunfisk. Gonna go for the Rock Slides. These do hit for neutral, and you do need quite a few as Skarmory tanks them pretty well. Skarmory has a decent stat product, even for the Ultra League. as an XL, and they go Flash Cannon. Holy smokes, what is going on here? Oh my goodness. I can't ever think of a reason to run Flash Cannon over Brave Bird. So guys, please don't do that if you're planning on bringing Skarmory to any meta. Just go Brave Bird. But they do look to catch some more resistant damage. They love to catch, but they're going to catch an Earthquake for their troubles as we make a play back into our Lugia. And this Scrafty is now within Sky Attack range. That is all we need to get rid of the little lizard man known as Scrafty. We tank that foul play, no problem. Lugia has some very nice bulk. You love it. And we're going to look to say bye-bye to the Scrafty, and they come back in with the Skarmory, and they did have loaded energy, but Lugia is bulky and performs extremely well when shields are down. So they're going to need a couple of Sky Attacks to take us out, and they do go for Sky Attack number 2. They are fighting like heck to take this battle, but it is just not going to work out for them, guys. We were just 2 mud shots off from another Rock Slide, and we are going to be sending the Skarmory packing, holy smokes, back and forth battle as we snipe the Stunfisk with our Scrafty. My goodness, that was a crazy battle. Had lots of fun in that one. That's going to be a good game. Well played. Had some super fun and exciting battles with Lugia, guys. It was quite fun, and I will definitely be running it again. But pick up an awful lead in Articuno. We're going into Stunfisk, and they are going to look to bank some energy before making a play into a Swampert. All right, so this is a solid answer to our Stunfisk, but we do have the energy lead, so going to go for the Earthquake, and we do grab a shield. That is amazing. And we tank one of whatever this Swampert can throw, most likely just the Hydro Cannon. That's all they really need. They do need 2, though, and they are looking to really overload on energy and allowing us to get to yet another Earthquake. If they want to go completely down on shields, that is fine, but no, they do tank it, as Swampert can tank an Earthquake from Stunfisk, not a problem, and they are quite low. This is a nice farm down range for our Lugia. And we know that this Swampert has loaded energy. They've been farming for days on our Stunfisk, and we are just going to tank all of the Hydro Cannons that they throw. They go for Hydro Cannon number 1, and they will definitely get to another one, as Swampert just always seems to get to another Hydro Cannon. That is just the nature of Swampert in any meta in Pokemon Go Battle League. One of the spammier Pokemon that you can possibly go run into. And they meet us with a Cresselia. This is amazing. We were totally expecting the Articuno to come back in, but we kind of want to get this out of the way. But our Lugia is getting quite low. They built up to just a Grass Knot. They're looking to Grass Knot us, so this leads me to believe that maybe they're running Future Sight. A lot more Cresselias have been running Future Sight as of late. So we're thinking maybe worth a shield to try and chip away at the health on the very bulky Cresselia. And I think right here, we do go for the Aeroblast, Hail Mary, but maybe the smarter play would have been to just go for the Sky Attack, as they do shield it up. But you never know, Cresselias don't often shield, so not a big deal, as they do just go for another Grass Knot, and it does KO. Doesn't seem like that should have KO'd, but it did, and that's okay. And now we have our Scrafty up a shield to try and make something happen here. They do look to debuff with an Icy Wind. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it does drop our attack. And our counters are actually doing neutral damage to Articuno, as it is part ice. But because they dropped our attack, we're going to look to raise that right back up with a power-up punch. It does hit for neutral, and boosting the counters is never a bad idea for Scrafty. And they are building up quite a bit, guys. They're at a potential Hurricane. That is the legacy move, and that is an amazing shield, as that would have been lights out for us, guys. My goodness, that Hurricane would have absolutely KO'd us, and we're going for yet another power punch. We're thinking if we can boost our damage output and get as close to a foul play as possible, we're thinking we might be able to take this game, and we get to the boosted foul play. Oh my goodness, we get to that and we really need this to KO to seal the deal, but it hangs on with 1 HP. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely heartbreaking. Just was not meant to be, guys, as they take us out with the Moonblast. Cresselia hanging on with 1 HP. My goodness, but good game. Well played nonetheless. That was a fun one. Tell you guys, those narrow losses always seem to sting a little more, but we press on, and here we go. Not the best lead in Snorlax, as they can apply super effective fast move pressure to us, so we go into Stunfisk, and we draw out a Machamp. So guys, you're about to see why I always say Stunfisk is one of the better safe swap options, because even at a type disadvantage, you can absolutely pressure health or shields on your opponent as we look to go for the Earthquake, and they let it go. So that is amazing. What we're going to look to do is take advantage of their greed, because they want to go for the full farm down. But it's going to cost them, guys. It's going to cost them a shield or switch advantage, and we grab a shield. That is what I mean by Stunfisk being one of the more clutch safe swap options in the Ultra League. So we do come back in with Lugia, going to tank the Rock Slide. Not a big deal at all, and we can look to farm down. We now have a shield advantage, expecting the Snorlax to come back in. We go in Scrafty, and they meet us with a Cresselia. Okay, yeah, another Cresselia. Let's see if we can make up for that last battle here. Gonna go for foul play number 1, and of course they let it go through, as they can absolutely tank a foul play, no problem. And they built past the Moonblast, and I seriously thought about calling this as a bait, but we do shield out of caution. The game is getting a little close, so we're gonna look to go for another foul play, and they could definitely tank this one as well, but they do shield. That is amazing. So at this point, I'm just thinking, if you're going to go Moonblast, I don't think it KOs from this range. And they do bait again. So successfully calling the bait there. Going to look to get to another foul play. We want to get rid of this Cresselia. So we are going to shield, and they bait again. So I'm thinking at this point, they're running Future Sight. There's no way that they have Moonblast, and they're going for this many baits. Gonna look to go for another foul play. And again, it doesn't quite KO. These doggone Cresselia's hanging in there with 1 HP was the bane of my existence in the Ultra League. During these battles, guys, as we make an aggressive play back into Lugia. Gonna look to go for the Sky Attack. Doesn't quite KO the tanky Snorlax. Or excuse me, that was an Aeroblast. Excuse me. Big difference between Sky Attack and Air Blast, I must say. And it does nearly KO the Snorlax, but not quite. And I'm thinking, oh man, if this is the superpower, it's lights out for us again. But no, it's just the Body Slam, and we hang on and counter down that Cresselia. Getting redemption from that previous battle, closing it out strong with Scrafty, and that is the team, my friends. Very fun team. Lugia was a lot of fun, guys, and is quite good in the meta. Lugia was amazing, and I definitely plan on running it again, but I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching, and keep up the grind. Thank you, guys.